Are tenants these evil people that some people make them out to be? When you're among some circles, you may begin to think that tenants are these evil individuals that you have to be careful with, just like the prejudices about landlords in the previous video that I posted. So what I was going to explain. Oh, yes, hello. Hey, Jess, how are you? Oh, you moved into a new house, or it's an apartment, okay? What happened? Oh, it's not what it was made out to be. Some stuff is broken, the fridge is not working properly. They even have roaches. I'm sorry. So, have you told the landlord? Oh, the landlady, she's refusing to fix anything. Have you asked for the money back so you can leave the place? Oh, she's refusing to give you the deposit back and the money back for false advertisement. Oh, well, you guys are going to have to deal with the roaches. I'm so sorry about that. No, I'm listening. Well, maybe we're going to have to call you, the roach lady. I don't know. Oh, oh, she hung up on me. She cursed me out. Oh, my God. So, Jess's situation, where she had thought that the apartment was proper and found out there were issues, has happened to a number of tenants. So there are some landlords, although they're the minority, who choose to be slumlords and don't fix things. So, also in addition, there are states in America where if you're just 3 days late, states like Georgia, for example, the landlord can begin an eviction notice. Even if you end up paying, let's say you paid a week later or something like that, the landlord can still evict you from the apartment because you were late in paying by, say, 4 days or 5 days. Okay? So there are states like that. So in addition to the slumlord problem, there is this additional problem that exists in some states. So how does one deal with a slumlord or landlords that are have a very unreasonable expectations? The answer lies in balance, what I had previously spoken about when I started this series. And I'll explain what I mean by balance. If a landlord does not fix up a property in a certain time frame, and sometimes even in 24 hours, in the case of New York State, for example, the state that I live in, you can't manage to not have heat for 24 hours because then you can freeze, okay, especially in winters, okay? And in some states, you need air conditioning, like in Nevada, for example, you need consistent air conditioning. In Arizona, otherwise you could get fried up pretty overheated pretty much easy and die from it. So in those situations, there should be mandates that if the landlord does not fix up that issue within, say, 24 hours, that the city will fix it and they will bill the landlord, and that landlord will also have to pay a penalty for it. This was actually introduced in my city, where they introduced that a gentleman that I know who is actually a friend of mine in the legislature, introduced this bill for the county where I live in, and it's worked really well in deterring landlords from not fixing up stuff. There's still some are not fixing, but it deters them from not fixing up stuff. Because guess what? If they don't fix anything, then the city can fix it. And in that situation, the landlord could end up being fined or end up paying a penalty and end up paying very high fees for fixing up an apartment. So those are the two solutions that I was thinking of in terms of how to be fixed. The first one is being fair to both the landlord and the tenant. The second one is that. I'll talk about another third solution. When it comes to situations like Jess's situation, where she could not get her deposit, the solution is that if the landlord does not, if a third party does an inspection and the landlord did not, was deceptive in advertising the apartment, the tenant can get their money back. So it should be that in the first 1 month of renting the apartment, if the tenant is not satisfied with the service because things have not been fixed as was stated, they should be able to get out of the plan and they must get their whole deposit back. One way of doing this is maybe to have a third party collect the deposit, or the deposit should be going into some sort of neutral account that is run by some sort of attorney or something like that. That to me is a solution. It's actually done in the UK, I think. In the UK, I think an agent gets the deposit. So in that way, when the tenant is moving out, if the landlord makes unsolicited claims that things were left undone, the agent can say, no, things were fixed. Actually, the person needs their deposit back. The reason why I say this is landlords, I've heard of cases where landlords have abused this power. So I'll give you an example. There's a friend of mine, semi-friend, I would say, who confided in me. He was a landlord and said, well, I can hold the deposit if I want to. If I want to, I can hold the deposit. And it's very difficult for the tenant to go to the housing court and get their deposit back. That's the situation we want to avoid. Abusive cases like that. Abuse has to be avoided in situations where if the tenant is due their deposit, it must be given to them immediately when the lease is over. Or if they're in the first maybe 1 month and things are not being fixed and they feel that they have to move out because of it, there should be a recourse for the tenant to be able to get their money back. Anyway, I will end here. Thank you for watching. And in my next video, I will expand further in what is known as contract enforcement, because this topic of tenants and landlords is very important in dealing with the housing issue. We need more landlords willing to rent out their apartments, but we also need tenants to be able to not be abused by the system. So in the next one, I'll talk about what is known as contract enforcement. This is fundamental if we are to deal with the problem of homelessness. Thank you, everybody, and good day, good night, wherever you are. Thank you. Bye.